Welcome in, friends, to the Dear Creator YouTube channel. My name is Danny Daniela, and if you happen to see a video where I'm wearing the same shirt, it's because I'm bulk recording. To be transparent, I'm bulk recording, so I put my hair in a ponytail so it can look like I'm brand new. But my previous video before this was about my 1-year journey in therapy, my intentional journey to see, could therapy fix me? And honestly, I didn't want therapy to actually fix me. I knew that it couldn't fix me, but what comes from therapy? Do you get dependent on it? Does it actually have any results? And for me, it really did help me with resources. On the topic of therapy, I wanted to review the internet. Lately, people, maybe not lately, but maybe for a while, and I'm just going to point out a few, people have come on the internet to share very, very intimate experiences in their lives. It first stood out to me when I was watching a Harley Initiated podcast, and a young lady came on the podcast and she talked about her children, her husband, and how they violated on the podcast. And a therapist came on and she pretty much shared how she should step away from the internet for a little. And there was some pushback, and I'll play a little bit of that if I can. But there was some pushback because this is my life, this is my story. She felt like she had a right to do so, and she even believed that God wanted her to get on the internet and share, which I thought was an interesting perspective.
What are the psychological implications of platforming your experience? How do you navigate the backlash that comes with sharing your experience? Because like even reading the chat, like it's been like typed before it even like got live. So my thing is like, how do you steward that type of platform in a way that's going to bring you peace ultimately?
My peace comes from God because he's the one that's leading my steps, and that's been my prayer every day. God, lead my steps. And I felt like God wouldn't let me move forward in life until I spoke my truth, because it's just been swept under the rug for so long, you know, generationally. And this isn't something that's just affecting my own family. This is affecting more families than we know. And it was important to share, especially in the wake of the Menendez brothers case and just all that's going on in the world with, you know, all these predators being exposed. And Cat Williams was very prophetic when he said that this is the year. Time is up. This is the year. And I knew I had to say something.
I also want to share there was another instance that I came across, and this was against two roses, a Keita Rose and a Kitty Rose. Roses really smell like and their experience with a podcast called Tonight Conversation. So Keita Rose, she put out a series and she really exposed not only her experience, but other people's stories. And a lot of people had different responses to her doing so. And then the last one I wanted to note is Dr. Umar and his daughter. It came out that Dr. Umar wasn't taking care of the daughter, and the daughter started to really just seek his attention online.
Just say, you know what? I was a deadbeat. I wasn't in Anisha's life. You would have brought that to the public and told the public, you know what? I wasn't an active father. I messed up. But you know what? Moving forward, I'm gonna make this better. You ain't saying none of that shit, bitch.
And so with all these cases, I saw a common denominator, and that was, why are people coming on the internet sharing all of their business? And I wanted to explore why we might do this, why people come and share their stories or their drama on the internet, and if there's a case for it. So you all let me know. One, for those who really just are against it, share your feedback in a comment. Give us something really credible on why it's an issue. I could say on the top, a lot of us believe it's an issue because, one, safety of your heart, mind, and spirit. The internet could be a very wild place. People's opinions and perspectives can seep into your skin if you spend a lot of time scrolling through that and then you take it to heart. If you are going to be someone who is a creator and you want to share your story and you're going to be out there is some tough skin that has to be thickened, because people are going to come with all of the different opinions. Now, it also takes an art to be able to sift through all of these different opinions and listen to someone who might be giving credible advice and feedback. So going back to the first example, when we saw a therapist on the show, that therapist's name was Dr. Steward, she sincerely believed that this young lady should wait to tell her story, that she did not have to initially come out and start telling her story. And I believe there's some credibility in there and something to consider. For those who are in the mode and they're in the intensity of the situation, it's raw and it's sincere, and so it comes off very authentic to those who are listening. But there's also room for error because you are coming raw and authentic, and it's right now. So you might share something that later on you wish that you didn't share. But is there any valid argument to say we should come online and talk about our business? So I'm going to share 5 with you all today, and I want to hear your feedback in the comments. The first one is that it creates visibility for patterns of harm. The reason why I look at this differently than some might is because if somebody is coming on the internet and they sound like there's something off and they are very confident in it, and then they get so much feedback to say, hey, this is off. Sometimes the feedback is just really like people are being mean, but if you don't really see much, the ratio between positive and negative feedback is just like, oh, I probably should consider this. It might help people just stop and see that there's something wrong here. On the other side, the visibility can help those who aren't going to come on the internet and share their business, but they've been in that situation and they now see someone expressing themselves like they wish that they could. And that could be heroic. Is that the word? Heroic for them. Not that we need a lot of heroes coming on and being saviors for others, but when we see that there's an experience that someone had, that we had, and we think that we're the only one that has it because we don't talk to anyone else about it, it's helpful. The other thing is, it helps us realize that we're not perfect. When we're on the internet and we see perfection, I do have a dream and desire for everyone to live the most abundant life and to extract all the great things out of this world. However, we are in a process of renewing ourselves and undoing a lot of things. And that sometimes doesn't look picture perfect. And so those who are brave enough to say, hey, this happened to me, and this is how I feel right now, this is who I am, and I know I'm coming off looking messy. It's normal for some people in their own house to be that messy. They just don't put their business on the internet because they want to appear like they have it all together, which is fair. Because the other side of this is, I don't want to come on the internet and see that everybody is sad and dramatic and angry all the time either. I do want to see you have a nice birthday party. I do want to see that you're happy. I do want to see that you like your dress. Sometimes we see people on the internet having great lives, and we always go to this line like, oh, they can't be perfect. But can they be happy? Can they share a happy moment? Can they share all their happy moments? What if that's what they want to curate on their feed? They don't want to share all their drama with you. If you want to see everyone's drama, for those who complain about people with perfect lives, there are people who are willing to share their imperfections with us. So going back to number 1, this next one is very similar, where people can see these patterns and they can relate to it. But let's really pull this out. If someone is on the internet and they don't have a community, they don't know who to talk to, in some cases, they might come across content or creator that they can relate to. And sometimes it could seem pathetic that we don't go out into communities and we don't get out to connect. But for what it is, it's creating some type of internet support system. And that's what we have right now. I think this through. Imagine that one day we're going to get so tired of being on the internet that we are going to go back to the community. We are going to want to be around people. And we can use the internet to transition us there. That they both can exist. Everything doesn't have to be bad or good. The internet is just not this bad place. We can use the internet for something that can be a resource to our transitions in life, which could be, I've seen this person on the internet. She started to do traveling, and I've seen her through the screen first, but now I'm inspired to do the same thing because I see someone who came from the same background as me. Some people have issues with this whole idea of representation, but apparently we like to see ourselves in other people, and we like to see the progress stories of other people, the heroic stories. So let it. let's look for the good. Fourth is that it gives an opportunity to hold people accountable. If we keep everything in private and we say, let's just keep this to ourselves, there's a chance for manipulation. There's a chance that some things won't get funneled through. But when you get the internet on your side, the internet will come through. And they will give you all of the think pieces available. They will give you all the perspectives, all the different sides, and they're multiple. So the fourth one is it gives an opportunity for those who are in private spaces and are trying to stay in private spaces because they want to manipulate the experience to get exposed and bring other people in with us. Because everyone can't afford a lawyer to do all the detecting, but there are lawyers who are humans that are out there that will give a perspective in one case or the other. And fifth, very similar to our one and third, but it really invites vulnerability. It allows people to be transparent. It allows us to see that we are very similar. That there are things that are happening that we might relate to. There are things that we might not relate to on the actual case itself, but we look at the foundation of what's the matter, what's wrong, why are you sad, that we've also had those same type of feelings. So those are just 5 that I can think of today, but I really want to pull this out a little bit more and see if there's more cases for us to come onto the internet, because I've kind of gotten tired of people saying, oh, you've seen it on the internet. I think there's always room for us to know that there is invalid nonsense crap on the internet. But we cannot forget that there are people here with great stories, with great advice, with wisdom. And just because they're on the internet doesn't mean that it's a bad place. And even when we see people coming on and they're sharing their heart and they're sharing what looks messy, why can't we just see that as authenticity? Like, that's really them being who they are. While we're all just trying to figure this life out together, allow them to do so in the space that they choose. Because now we can see all of the different stories that match up with one another. So that's all of my take for this experience with Dear Creator. I'm interested in what your thoughts are below. I'm probably off with this one, but I thought it was an interesting take because I've learned from each of these experiences that I've shared. I won't go into their stories because I think they're all really sensitive stories. But in each of these cases, I had a moment where I wanted to judge. I also had a moment where I thought, you know what? That's a good point. It's all in how we approach these conversations. It's all in how we respond and how we react. When a person comes on the internet, we really could just scroll by. It really doesn't have to impact us at all. But when we invest our time and our energy into the content, now we have to come back to ourselves and say, well, why was I so invested? Why am I so mad? Why am I so judgmental? Why do I have so much to say about this particular case? It will open you up to what you're either passionate about or what you need to work on for yourself. Until next time, hold on to you as much as you can. Hold on to your health, your well-being, and your mind. Be mindful. Bye. Breathe.